get pushed around all the time. And just because you hang around other dudes like you who also get pushed around all the time, it's not normal and it's not okay, and you need to change. You with me on that? Yeah, funny guy just shifted, didn't he? So I didn't come here to entertain you today. I came here to set the stage. You need to quit playing around. The world is monkeying with your family, and you let them. And there was a time in your life when you were a little girl where you knew you were going to do something great with your life. You were 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. There was some point, some time in your life, you knew you were special. You knew you're supposed to do something great with your life. You knew you were going to make a difference in the world. And somewhere along the line, life started happening, a setback here, someone teased you at school, a divorce, you got into a career someone else picked for you, whatever it is, and you started to settle. You start to make excuses. You start hanging around people just like you, and they make it okay. Then you meet Kent. Then you meet this group. Now you're learning stuff. So the heat's on, man. How many of you have kids? Okay, yeah, grandkids, anybody? Awesome. You know, like when you go to your kids' plays at school, and there's 40 kids up there for the Christmas recital, who do you see? Who do you see? You don't see the other 39 kids. You're looking right at your kid, aren't you? You go to a baseball game or a soccer game for your kids, you see the other kids, but who do you watch the whole damn time? Your little one, don't you? Yes or no? I got news for you. Listen, your kids are doing the same with you. They're watching you, and they're going to get to an age where they figure out who you really are. Your grandkids will figure out, they'll always love you, Grandma. They love their mama. But you get to an age in life where you figure out who they are, don't you? Think about your own parents. You love them, but you know who they are. You know whether they've changed the world. You know whether they've done something great. You know whether they just exist. Your kids are going to figure you out someday, man. Sooner than you think, too. And it ain't good enough. You can be anybody you want to be. Really, Dad? Then how come you're not? You can accomplish anything in the world you want, sweetheart. Well, why haven't you, Mom? They're watching you. I don't deliver a normal message. I love you. I'm here to shake you up and get you to remember what I say today. Because this information goes nowhere if you don't separate yourself by leveraging the pain of where you are or the pleasure of where you're going. And you best get in a damn hurry.
When I was facing some challenges, I had a guy say something to me, and I suggest this is one of the first things that you want to do when you're facing a challenge. You want to get unstuck. Evaluate where you are. Look at it. Assess yourself. Assess yourself and assess the situation. What brought you there? What role did you play? Earl Nightingale had a saying I like. He said, all of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. What has brought you to this point? What did you learn from it? Are you learning anything, or are you doing it over and over and over again? Somebody said that insanity is doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. Are you going through it, or are you growing through it? Are you bigger and better because of it? Because it's not going to leave you until you grow through it. I was going through a major challenge in my life that was wearing me out, that was using me. And one of my students told me in a class that I was teaching, Lessons in Truth, she said, Les, until you handle it with grace, it will stay in your face. And it stayed there a long time.
So I will always be grateful for meeting someone who made a difference in how my life worked out. I am sure if Mr. Schoaf were still alive, I would have called him one more time today and thanked him for sharing the ideas and inspiration that changed my life. For many years, I shared this philosophy for wealth and happiness with my business partners and met with equally exciting results. I am primarily a businessman, not a professional public speaker, but I have been intrigued with the challenge of trying to put into words the ideas that can make a difference in how a person's life works out. And now I have the chance to share these ideas with you. I don't claim to have all the answers on how to do well, but I do have some answers that have worked extremely well for me and thousands of others. Take these ideas and edit them all you wish. You certainly don't have to buy everything any one person says, but give me a chance. If something sounds good, try it. If it doesn't make sense, discard it. Remember, don't be a follower, be a student.
God said, I got 7,000 that I could use. I choose to use you, but I got 7,000 who are doing what you're doing. But just because they don't do it exactly like you're doing it, how arrogant of you to think that you're the only one right and the only one left and the only one I'm talking to and the only one sincere and the only one going to heaven. Your perception is off. Seer, you can't see correctly. You've gone blind. And if there were only one thing that we could heal today, it would be the blindness of leaders who think they are the only ones left. And now they're in this predicament, and he's come to this point, and he's up under the juniper tree, and the real truth of the matter, he's tired. And when you get tired, you get cynical and critical and evil, and you think you're called to be the police of the church and straighten everybody out because you're the only one left. And really the only thing wrong with you is that you're tired and you're burnt out and your love is gone. Your love is gone. Your love is gone. And you're representing a God that is love, and you have no love. And he's gotten up under the juniper tree and he's exhausted and he falls asleep. He needed some rest. He needed some time off stage. He was burnt out. He didn't know it. He'd been running like crazy. You gotta be here at 4 o'clock. You gotta be there at 7:30. Hurry up, get dressed, honey. I'm waiting for you in the car. Hurry up, get the key. We got to go. Busy, running faster than horses, chariots about, going at it. And now he's up under the juniper tree. He's going out. And God has sent angels to minister to him. God has been a feeder. He has not been fed. He is a feeder. He has not been fed. Oh, I'm fed. Bless God. I spend 5 days a week studying the Word of God. Just because you're studying the Word of God doesn't mean you're being fed. Because a lot of times you're studying the Word of God to feed somebody else. You're cooking, baby. You're not eating. Everybody else is being fed. Can you imagine how they left Mount Carmel talking about, whoa, glory to God. And people just go home all excited. And the man of God, look at how different. They come off the mountain excited about God. He comes off the mountain exhausted. It costs you a lot to be available to people here and blessing people and them leaving refreshed and excited costs you a lot. And it is so crazy because the more effective you are at sending them home blessed and motivated, excited, the more likely you are to go home depleted because you gave them your courage. They left encouraged. You went home discouraged because they got all new kind.
Everything in our life is controlled by 3 decisions. Those 3 decisions I'd like to look at today because I really want to deliver from the stage. I want to really want to serve you all, give you the greatest gift you have in time. Get your money back that you make each time. And so I really want to serve you. And I think one of those powerful things we serve is you have to become clear on what the controlling force is that's controlling your life. It's not the amount of money in your pocket. It's not who you know. It's not even what you've been through. It's really the decisions you make moment to moment about a couple of different things. And the 3 decisions I made in that moment that I'd like to pull your attention to just real quick are, in this moment you're making these 3 decisions, by the way. The first one is, what are you going to focus on? In that day, my father focused clearly on the fact that he had not taken care of his family. And whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. In fact, many of us in this room, who's ever focused on something, you were thinking something horrible was going to happen, you experienced the pain of that failure or that challenge in your life, and then it never ever happened. Who's had this experience? Say, I. And if things aren't bad in your life, you can always think of shit that hasn't even happened yet and feel bad in advance. But many people do. Because whatever you focus on, you'll feel. Write it down. Focus equals feeling, because if you start to take control of your focus, you take control of your life. But that day, he focused on the fact that clearly he had failed his family, and that was the meaning. The second decision you make is, what does it mean? As soon as you look at something, think about something, focus on it, you gotta decide, what does this mean? Is this the beginning or the end? Is this punishment and reward? Is God trying to hurt me or trying to challenge me? Or is this nothing to do with God? I was just being a lazy bastard. Right? The meanings we give to things control our life. If you think it's the end of a relationship, are you going to behave the same way as you think it's the beginning of a relationship? In the beginning of a relationship, when you're totally in love with someone, what will you do for them? Tell me, what will you do? Oh, come on, guys. What will you do when you're totally in love? Shout out, what will you do? What? Make the sound of what it's like when you're totally in love out of your mind. Just go ahead and make that sound like a primal sound of what that feels like. Just go for it so we get some energy in this room. It's been a long time for some of you, I can see real clearly. Let's try this time. How about totally in love and passionately desiring this person, like you can't wait to touch them, make love to them, be with them. Make the sound of what that would be like. Go ahead, nice and loud, go ahead. So when you have the meaning that this is the beginning of the relationship and this person's the most incredible thing and you will do what for them, what will you do? Anything. What if you were that way with your client? What if you're that way with your internal customers? Because your partners, you go, well, if you have real sexual problems with HR, that would be the real challenge. But if your commitment was the same, when you're in that place, you can do anything in the beginning of a relationship. In the beginning of a relationship, if your partner said, would you take out the trash? What do you say? Take out the trash. Happily. But after about 7 days or 7 weeks or 7 months or 7 years or 70 years, one day someone said, take out the trash, you go, what do I look like, your janitor? What happened to our passion? I'll give you a clue. If you want a relationship to last and you think it's coming to